Welcome back once again to Dadnarok. This is Sean.
And this is Chris.
And tonight we're talking about the 1983 film in our, what's it called? Misfit movie series.
Yeah, it's right there on the screen for
It's right
us.
here. Yeah, there we go. It's right underneath you. Trading Places. Trading
Trading
starring
Places.
Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. Some other people. Jamie Lee Curtis. But wait a second. Who are we, though?
I ask myself that now daily. I wake up and look in the mirror and I'm like, who am I today? Well, as we sit, we are Dadnarok. The two of us, we are Dadnarok. We've been doing a Misfit
Dadnarok?
movies holiday
Dadnarok?
series here. We've got quite a few other ones we've done. We'll be wrapping it up next week. So check out the rest of the library here. But hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Let us know what you think. We're live. So anytime that you want to add your opinion, we'll pull your comment live and we'll talk about it as well. And if we are wrong and you want to let us know, have at it. We love it.
Yeah, we had, you know what? I'm tired of these people. They're lurking. They're watching us live and they don't say anything. They're so quiet. They're just like little peeping toms watching us do a little show.
Are you quiet shaming our crowd?
Yes, I am. Oh, here we go. There's Deborah Bowser.
She says hi. So look at that. You shamed her into saying hi. You should feel horrible. It is the holiday season. Holly, jolly, and love. Not shame. No one's commenting.
Nope, I feel great about it.
So Trading Spaces. This was your choice.
I picked it. I'd never seen it.
Okay, that was my question next. If you've seen it or not. So you haven't seen this. I've never seen it either. So since it was your choice, I'll start. This was painful. The first half, I'll put it this way. This movie to me was two different halves of the movie.
Yeah.
The first hour of this movie, it was rough. And you can tell by the writing, by the dialogue, by all of it. It didn't age well. Didn't age well at all. In my opinion. And it made me uncomfortable at times. Just some of the language and the wording they were using. I'm like, just feels.
Yeah, it was of its time for sure. Yeah, I get that. It was not as good as I'd hoped it would be. A very kind of simplistic plot. A lot of setup time.
The first hour of the movie was a setup for the second hour. That setup could have been 20 minutes rather than an hour.
And it was really, I don't know, I think there was just a better story here somewhere. It was a little bit like The Prince and the Pauper, right? Kind of the old school, or Man in the Iron Mask, the old switcheroo stories they used to have a lot of. And this was also kind of like Rich Man to Poor Man and vice versa, and Rags to Riches stories, they're all over the place. And this movie kind of had that premise, but also not, because they didn't spend a lot of time watching Dan Aykroyd get used to being poor or watching Eddie Murphy get used to being rich. Like, there was a little bit of that, but I thought that was going to be like a thrust of the movie. But really, it was more about them just kind of getting back at the two rich dudes that were the head of this company.
And that's when the movie got good.
Yeah.
When Eddie Murphy's character was in the bathroom and he was, I'm going to say it was probably smoking weed. They didn't say it, but he was trying to blow it through the vent. So when he was hiding up there,
you could see it. He had a joint in his mouth. He literally put it in his mouth. He was like, oh.
And when he found out the bet and all of that, and then he went to find Dan Aykroyd's character, that's when the movie got good to me.
Can I say what a whiplash this was, by the way, from last week? Arthur Christmas going to Trading Places this week. It was just like family-friendly animated movie.
This caught me off guard, dude. I'm sitting here and I'm watching it, and the last thing I expected to see was what's her name's chest. I'm like, I was like, whoa, hold on, I wasn't ready for this.
Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't in my cards. I'm sitting here, I'm just watching the movie, and I'm like, whoa, hold on. And I didn't even catch it was her at the very beginning when it was the prostitute, when they had her all done up with the wig and everything.
Right. Yeah.
It didn't even dawn on me that it was her until she pulled the hair off. I'm like, oh, Okay,
You,
now
you know that?
there she is. I knew she was in it somewhere.
I know her from the Activia commercials.
Yeah. Oh, now she's regular.
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was not my favorite, and not one. Well, not one that I watch. I will say I do like the performances of Eddie Murphy. Like this is very early Eddie Murphy. This is one of
Yeah.
his first like big movies. It's like even before Beverly Hills Cop. And JB Lee Curtis. It's one of her Beyond. She's got her start in the movie 1978 Halloween. Thank you, Deborah
There we
Fowler.
go.
That's where Jamie Lee Curtis premiered. But since then, she was in Halloween 2 in 1980. She did John Carpenter's The Fog, a few other movies. This is probably the biggest movie that she had post Halloween, up until some other things later, like True Lies and stuff in the 90s.
Now, coming into this, were you under the impression that this was going to be a comedy?
Yes, I think technically it is supposed to be a comedy, but I guess
Okay.
you weren't laughing.
Maybe it was funny back in late 80s, early 90s,
Yeah,
but I mean, there was really not a whole, I didn't find a whole lot of comedy. And even when I thought the movie got better in the second half, when all of a sudden they're trying to, buy down the stock of orange, concentrated orange juice of all things,
yeah.
uh, to get back at the brothers, which just, I don't know, they just kind of skeezed me out. The brothers and their $1 bet to completely destroy one, a person they'd like to bring up another that they have no idea who they are.
That's one thing I kind of did appreciate. So you kind of danced around it, but there was a lot of like, this is a movie from the early 80s for sure. Just like a lot of race humor. I mean, there was nudity, like Jamie Lee Curtis. We mentioned like
Mhm.
two or three scenes where she,
Yeah, there was a couple, and then there was
and
the
then
party at
there's the
the
party.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Once Eddie Murphy got into Dan Aykroyd's place and was staying
I was
there.
never invited to those parties.
No, me neither. But yeah, so it's definitely of its time. Some things do not play these days. So maybe back then it was funnier. I did get a couple of laughs from a couple of the Eddie Murphy scenes. And then one scene in particular I just thought was so sad when Dan Aykroyd was he was in the Santa suit and he was like on the subway or either the bus or the subway, and he was sitting down and he pulled the hunk of meat out of his Santa dirty Santa suit and was just like eating it, but he's also getting like the dirty beard in his mouth, and it was just so gross. And I laughed out loud at that because I just thought it was so awful.
Yeah, the grimy Santa suit at a certain point that played well. I mean, I thought
Yeah.
that was still that made me smile. That's still funny. But as a whole, I was like, I was
As a whole,
hoping to laugh more.
I didn't laugh much, especially the premise. I mean, you get Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. This is like, in the early 80s when they're
Well, then Dan Belushi shows up in it.
yeah, Jim Belushi, yeah.
Jim Belushi shows up as a
Yeah.
gorilla at a party
Yeah,
at the end.
but that, to be fair, I think that was probably a very small part because this was maybe the year or the year after that his brother John Belushi had died. And John Belushi was, he's one of the Blues Brothers with Dan
Mhm.
Aykroyd. He came from that SNL, that first SNL family. And so John Belushi had just thought he probably gave that part to Jim Belushi as just like a
I
like
don't
a
even think he
bone.
was credited because I was watching the credits just to kind of see, and
Yeah.
I didn't even see him credited in it, at least at the end.
Yeah, and of course Jim Belushi's career got bigger after that, but I think that's what that was. It's just like here's a part for you to, because your brother died and your brother was my friend kind of thing. But yeah, it was not great. The year after, Dan Aykroyd did Ghostbusters. Eddie Murphy actually turned down Ghostbusters. Do you know that Eddie Murphy was going to be in Ghostbusters at one point?
I didn't until recently.
Yeah.
I think I came across something about prominent actors turning down roles that they now regret, and I think that was one of the one
Yeah,
of the
Eddie
top
Murphy said
ones.
that recently. He was like, I should have done Ghostbusters. But who would have known that would have been the,
Oh
the
yeah,
hit
no one
that
had
it
any
was.
idea that Ghostbusters would become what it is.
Yeah. This was directed by John Landis, who also did, I think John Landis also directed Animal House, which is, of course, what John Belushi, he was a huge presence in that too. Um, yeah. Okay. One thing I did want to say that I appreciated was just how slimy it portrayed the two rich brothers.
Yeah.
Um, because those guys, they existed back then and they still exist today.
Oh yeah, they exist in the shadows now, just as much as they did then.
Yeah, just like you have so much money where you just like make sport of everyone else around you. Like you're the world's your oyster, everything's your plaything, and you just are just slimy creatures.
Yeah,
And this
and then
movie was good about showing how just bad they were.
oh yeah, definitely when it comes like to all their staff in the house, and
Yeah.
giving the guy the $10 Christmas bonus. I think that's what it
Five
was. It was
five
like,
dollars.
was it $5?
It
It
was
was
a
something. I know it was
$5 bill.
ridiculous.
Oh my God. It was pretty over the top when it came to that, but I think they were really lampooning and kind of sticking it to that class hierarchy, which I do appreciate, especially these days. I thought that's one part of the movie that actually did age okay.
Well, you had the
um,
insider trading deal essentially that was happening,
yeah.
which we know that still plays today. Maybe not quite, $50,000 in a briefcase or whatever the money was to, slip them when they should buy their orange juice or not.
Oh, right. Yeah. These days, it would probably, if they made trading places now, it'd be about Bitcoin and social
Yeah,
media or something. Yeah. I just thought, like, even though, like, Eddie Murphy's extremely funny, and he was funny back then too. I don't think he was very funny in this movie. Dan Aykroyd, I loved him and pretty much everything he did. Watched all kinds of crap that he's been in and enjoyed it more than this. His performances, not to say they were bad, but they just weren't very memorable. You know what I mean?
and
Like there was
you
nothing
know
that
what
really
the
stuck
biggest
out.
problem was when it just kind of dawned on me,
What's
and
that?
well, the length was a problem,
It was too
but
long.
even with the length, they fast forwarded too much.
Yes,
We
yes,
didn't get they didn't earn the turn of Eddie Murphy's character from, guy that's earning the money to then all of a sudden going back to the other guy, and then the other guy automatically trusting him after he tries choking him out. They didn't earn any of these beats. It was all of a sudden it was
you're
just
right.
given.
Huge plot changes and plot turns that were just like kind of like you said, kind of pushed fast forward on. Like there's a couple other ones too, like the fact that Eddie Murphy was actually good at speculative trading. Like you
Yeah,
wouldn't know
how'd
that.
that figure it?
I mean, that's fine. I like that as a character. Like who would have
But
guessed
was
that?
he taught that? I thought he was gonna have to be taught that, and he didn't get taught that
Right.
overnight. So how
Like where'd
long
that
of a
come
gap was
from?
there?
If that's something from his past where that's like a part of he turns out he is actually good at it. Now you wouldn't think that a guy on the street would be good at that kind of thing, but so that's interesting, right? Why not tell that
Hmm.
story?
Yeah,
Give us a little tidbit about where that came from. Or Dan Aykroyd and Jamie Lee Curtis getting together. That was super fast. Like all of a sudden she's pitying him because he's, just this
you're
guy off
sleeping
the
on the
street.
couch because everything costs, and then all of
Yeah,
a sudden
she
he's
slams
sick in her bed and she's climbing into bed with him.
right, exactly. Like from one scene, she slams the bathroom door on him. To the next scene, she's the one snuggling up to him. It's just like I get it. I think that could be interesting. Like she's clearly has a good head on her shoulders. She's using her job as a prostitute to. She's very goal oriented. You know what I mean? She's
Yeah,
money focused. She's basically working on her retirement. And she's probably better off financially than a lot of people, a lot of working class people that are out and about on the streets that she's dealing with, right? So I mean,
yeah.
that's interesting. Tell her story. She takes pity on Dan Aykroyd's character, and he's kind of going through. It's almost like a Scrooge thing where he was
But
kind of
that
an
wasn't even
asshole.
earned
And
because she was
no,
hired to go ahead and kiss him on the steps to break him up from his fiance. The
yeah,
next thing you know, she's trusting him for a cab ride, and then they wind up at her house because he can't get into his house now. I was like, that beat even went really quick.
yeah, and it's just like that whole thing didn't feel earned too. But I think there's more of a story there. I feel like her warming up to him and him kind of changing his ways from this. I don't know, because he was very like smug in the beginning too, right? As far as
Mhm.
like
Oh yeah,
I mean, he didn't treat the butler well. Like he was well on his way to becoming one of those old guys.
or even the other like tool bags, the
Yeah,
other young
yeah.
guys that were there. He even treated them like garbage.
And I thought this was going to be more of a story about him kind of like, walking a mile in a poor man's shoes and trying
Mhm.
and then like, learning some shit
Almost
about
like
life.
Scrooge, a
Yeah,
Christmas story almost.
that kind of story, but they didn't really do that at all. So I think there was a lot of interesting threads they could have pulled on with this
No what
story,
movie
but
did
they
this
didn't.
well at the exact same time? I'm not sure when the other one released.
Mm.
Money Train.
Oh, really?
It's a set.
Yeah.
It's a very similar story,
Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes,
and Jennifer Lopez.
and Jennifer Lopez. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie there did it right, where everything felt earned. Where this one here felt, like we're saying, it felt rushed and nothing was truly earned.
Boy, that's interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that movie. You seen that?
Oh, dude, we've watched it together.
Are you sure?
Yes, first time I think I seen it was at your place back in Millville at the apartment complex.
That was probably the last and only time I'd ever seen it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, then we may have to do a rewatch of that one. That's a good movie. I enjoyed that one.
Money Train. Maybe we'll have to do a non-holiday Misfit movies. We'll just keep going.
Keep it Misfits. Drop the holidays.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, overall, so like, I mean, as far as Christmas, it pretty much had zero to do with Christmas.
There was nothing holiday really big outside of him dressed up as Santa Claus. There was
that's the thing. It looked like Christmas vomited up like all over it. Everywhere you looked, there was Christmas trees and Christmas paraphernalia. It was cold in Philadelphia, by the way. Philadelphia, 1983.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was neat. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it had nothing to do with the holiday itself.
Yeah, so I was I was weary going into it. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
If I was going to like it or not, knowing when it came out and everything and not knowing much about it, but knowing the actors was like, okay, this has potential to actually being a movie that we would enjoy. And I can absolutely see why you picked it.
We ran right into it, and I just we didn't even play the trailer. Let's play the trailer, see if it's.
You want to play the trailer real quick? See
to talk about, yeah.
Okay, let's just check it out, and boom. Maybe.
Sorry about that, man. This is help. I don't want your bag, man. Hello? He's getting away.
I'll bet that man could run our company as well as Winthorpe.
This is outrageous. I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not a thief.
We want to help you, Mr. Valentine, with a home of your own.
And that was a fake, right?
We paid $35,000 for it. And employment with our company.
What's going to happen to me?
I'm gonna regret this, but get in.
Champagne for everybody. All right.
You are making a career decision here.
This man is physically threatening me. He's being driven around in my car. He could be living in my house. Hey! Have you people ever heard of toasters?
You're a dead man, Valentine!
It was produced.
So that's it. Trading Places.
Yeah, we didn't talk about how we got, how it was staged to go ahead and get him. Oh, I think I may have clicked the wrong one on us. There we go.
Oh, there we go. There we go. We're better.
When it came to getting him set up, when he was actually with the board, and the money was in his pocket, or when they walked out and bumped into each other, and the other, it was a bunch of just weird beats about it.
Yeah, there were some things that were just very like coincidental, like the fact that she spotted the Beaker guy on television. They were doing a news report, like, oh, well, that. I mean, I don't know if that was on the news back in the day. Did they have news that like the stock reports were on their way or traveling to a different city? Like, must have been a slow news day.
Yeah, and when was trading done in Philly?
Yeah, well, my understanding was that there was just like they ran a company that was like essentially, like Eddie Murphy said, that were like bookies. Basically, you think like E-Trade online today, where they help facilitate buying and stuff, and they're like advise you on when you should buy, when you should sell. It was that kind of company, but yeah, usually I would think they would be in.
So they were essentially just a broker that was calling to New York to make the trades for them, essentially.
Right? Yeah, that's what I think. But it is kind of I don't know if it's intentional or why they said it in Philly, though. I guess maybe they got some kind of tax break or something from filming in Philadelphia instead of New York. But
New York would have made more sense, definitely, with it being a trading type, day trading type movie, essentially.
Yeah. Now they did at the very end. They went to the World Trade Center.
That always feels really weird to me. Like I have a hard time even seeing them like in any movie, because it just brings back like that day to me. I'm like, I like fast forwarding past it if I can.
Same here. There was a scene where the two were talking, and they were kind of like, gearing each other up to go trading in the day. Because Dan Aykroyd was like, this is the place where you got to be like a beast, or this.
Yeah, call her. Yeah, no friends.
And they were walking in front of the towers. You could just see the structure, the way the beams were outside the building. They were very unique, and I was just like, they're there. They're right there where,
Yeah.
where
And
all that devastation was. It's
that
hard to
feeling
watch.
is really, you have to be our age or older
Yeah.
to really understand that feeling. So if you were younger than us, you really didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah.
And so it's, I don't know, like any movie, like even the Spider-Man movies, I'm like, I don't like seeing it, but that's a side topic, really.
New York City was such a prevalent setting for a lot of movies in the 70s, 80s, 90s, right? Which was what we grew up on. And then that was such a prevalent landmark within New York City. And then to have it ingrained in your brain, and then one day to just change it, what you thought of, and then you introduce whole new visuals.
And the landscape's completely different now, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, that's probably for your generation of mine, where we were both, I think, 18 on that day.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah, Home Alone 2 is another one.
Oh yeah, it's another one too.
Yeah, it's another one that, the same way. But let's do this here, since, I mean, honestly, it sounds like neither of us had a whole lot of positives about this. I think both of us had hopes.
Yeah.
But it didn't quite land the way it is. And I think this movie here suffers from age.
Yeah.
I think it very well may have been funnier if you went back and watched it, early 90s, mid 90s, or even when it came out. Now it's kind of like, ugh.
It's two separate. Yeah, it feels like a different time altogether, which I guess it was these days. But you're right. Yeah, because it's like, this is one of those movies that I heard a lot about. Like people would be like, oh, you've never seen Trading Places, and oh, it's so funny, and I'm like, oh, okay. But so there was a lot of talk and a lot of build up, and then I watch it, and it's like, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, another one that we did that had a lot of build up to it, and that landed it. Yeah. It landed. So seeing that we had success with one, we're hoping we'd have success with the second ones. But I mean, honestly, 50% is not a bad. It's not bad.
No. So my score last week, I gave Arthur Christmas a 5.
A 5, yeah.
This week, I did enjoy it a little bit more than Arthur Christmas. Even though it was definitely out of sync with our current times, but I tried to keep my mind frame okay, this is 1983. But yet it's still, I'm just going to give it 1 point, essentially more. I'm giving it a 6 because I feel like
higher than I thought.
I like Eddie Murphy, and I like Dan Aykroyd. I like Jamie Lee Curtis. I like the guy who played the butler. I like the overall story. I think it could have been done a lot better. But I'm knocking it down from 10 down to a 6, but that's where I'm landing.
Dude, I was going to tell you at one point, I can't make it through this after 30 minutes of the movie. Yeah. I was very, very close to just throwing in the towel and not even making it through it. And I wasn't sure how I was going to talk about it tonight. So,
yeah.
So I made it through it. And luckily the second half made the movie more enjoyable for me. But I'm still sitting. I'm gonna be harder on it. Even though I like the actors.
Yeah.
I don't think the actors will even save this movie because we didn't get the comedy that we were expecting from Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Dan Aykroyd played almost too straight of a guy. There was no comedy out of him really whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis, she was there. That's pretty much how I look at her character. She was there.
She certainly was. All of her.
yeah. So I think I'm gonna give it 4. I'm going to give it down there. And I mean, I think that's even being generous for me because seeing that I was going to shut it off. I think if the second half of the movie wasn't as good as it was, I think I may have been a 2-3.
That's totally fair and totally fine. I get it. I was probably being more generous. Okay. Well, there we go. I think that averages out to an even 5 out of 10 for us between our two scores. So
And that's, I mean, honestly, that's where we've kind of been outside of Planes and Trains.
yeah.
The rest of them have been with the two of us averaging right about that, 5 mark. So these are all hitting about the same spot. Even Medea for you, my high mark for Medea and your low mark.
Yeah, and then like Ernest, and it's tough. Maybe that's why these are the Misfits, because they're just not that good.
They're not for everybody. You have to actually you have to love these movies. I think Dutch was another one that hit for us. Dutch and Planes and Trains
did good. Yeah.
Those two actually hit for us, but
well, next week is going to be our finale. It's the week before Christmas. It's leading up to Christmas at the end of the week. Let's see, so that'll be the 22nd, Monday the 22nd we'll come back.
Yes.
And we'll be talking about two movies. It's a double feature. It's a Nicolas Cage double feature.
Oh, you can't, nothing better than that for the 90s. That's top notch right there.
We're going in a cage match.
Oh, we got to coin that. Next week's the cage match.
Yeah, cage match. My pick is a movie that he was in I think late 80s, early 90s with John Lovitz and Dana Carvey. So you got two more SNL.
There we go.
And it's called Trapped in Paradise. They're like criminals on the run in this like quaint holiday town, and it looked kind of fun.
I've never even heard of that one.
Yeah, and hopefully we can stream it somewhere. Or else I got to figure out how we can watch. Maybe
we're gonna find. Maybe we'll have to reach out to Russia again. Yeah, and I picked The Family Man, and it has Tia Leone in it and Nick Cage,
and Don Cheadle in that too.
Yes, Don Cheadle is like and he plays an angel character.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
like a take on It's a Wonderful Life, like an updated It's a Wonderful Life.
Almost A Wonderful Life, almost like A Christmas Carol. It's kind of like, what if this didn't happen? What if this didn't happen and your life went this way, but you went this way?
I gotcha.
Type situation. And it's been a movie that I've loved watching, and it's kind of fallen out of my rotation in the past. I mean, probably almost a decade now, believe it or not. It's been that long since I've seen it.
Yeah, I remember you talking highly of that movie, and it was kind of surprised me that you hadn't seen it in a while. So, let's see, you already got one fan.
Oh, there we go.
Loves that movie. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So it looks like two Nicolas Cage movies, two kind of different movies. You got a little bit of comedy drama, a little bit more straight comedy. One's probably a little bit more heartfelt than the other one. But definitely, maybe probably both misfits as far as like they're not on everybody's radar.
Yeah.
So that's how we're gonna cap off the Misfit movies session here.
There we go. Well, guys, if you like this stuff, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check us out next Monday when we do that. And that's gonna be it. This has been a fun series for us, watch these movies and sit down and watch something that's not normally movies that are in our rotation, kind of forcing us into situations that we wouldn't watch. Like Sean and Arthur Christmas. I thought that was funny last week. Dude, you sounded such like an old man. You were like, it's so loud.
I was not in the right frame of mind to watch that movie at all.
But anyway, you have anything happen this week? Any family things? Any events going from between now and next Monday? Or
we were gonna host our family holiday like Christmas party Saturday, and we ended up having to cancel because Verona's had a 102 fever since Thursday.
Oh,
she got like a whatever. There's some kind of bug going around where she's had aches, pains, or something.
Was it the flu?
Stomach issues. Well, no, she tested negative for the flu, but I think it's some sort of virus that is going around, because I've had some people call off work and stuff too from it. But yeah, she's had a fever all weekend long. We're just like, we spent all week just like prepping the house, cleaning up, getting things ready.
That's usually how it happens. And last minute, you got to call it off.
Ordering the food. Then I think late Friday, we had to like let everybody know we were going to have like 20 to 30 people here too.
Oh, any chance of rescheduling it, or is it just pretty much scrapped?
No, I think that's what we're doing. We're going to reschedule it for maybe the first weekend in January. Sometimes I like doing holiday stuff after Christmas, just to like, where it's not as busy. I feel like there's like a ramp up, and then like there's December's so busy, and then January there's just like a drop off where you got
Yeah.
nothing going on.
Anyway, everyone's in recovery mode.
Yeah.
Everyone's hungover.
So it'll be nice. I took her to the doctor today. She still had a fever. I'm hoping she actually wants to go back to school tomorrow. She's so over it that she's like, I'll go back to school with the fever. She doesn't care.
When is she done for the holidays?
I think next week. Yeah, all this week she would have been. So I don't think she goes to school the following week.
So Friday's her last day before the new year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
my kids are
we
in the
also
same
had
spot.
we had NTI a couple days or snow days.
I was gonna say, what? Okay, you gotta tell me what NTI is.
NTI is just basically a stay at home, but you still have work to do on your computers.
Oh, boo that!
Yeah.
Oh
Do they not do that in
no,
Ohio.
Zach and Skylar don't bring home the Chromebooks anymore.
Oh, okay.
Now there are some districts that do it, but frankly, I wouldn't force them to open their books. I mean,
Yeah.
I would like, you know what? It's a snow day. They're closed. You're not going. Enjoy the snow day.
Yeah.
That's my thinking. It's kind of an old school thinking, but it's like, what are they going to do if they say, okay, my mom said I couldn't have any screen time today, and that included my laptop.
Right. I mean, you could. I mean, technically, they don't. In my experience, anyway, it's not like they drown. She has like 2 worksheets to do or something. Something she gets done within an hour. But even that this weekend, even though she was been assigned, she's been like sick and like when you got 102 fever, you don't feel like
You're not wanting to do anything. You're barely getting out of bed.
Yeah. So luckily, we only had to account for 1 or 2 days that she was out with a doctor's note. But that's what we're focused on, getting her better and preventing me and Christina from hopefully getting sick. Because if we get sick now, we'll probably be sick leading up to Christmas.
Oh, that would suck. Oh yeah, be miserable leading up to it, then the stress getting into it and getting everything ready. Then, no, thank you. I dealt with COVID that one year during Christmas when I couldn't even barely get out of bed.
Yeah.
So,
I hate that. What about you? What do we got?
Janessa and I had tickets to have a date night in Columbus to go see a Jackets game on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 6+ inches of snow, and everything went into winter storm warnings. And it was like Friday night, and I'm like, you know what? I like driving in snow. I don't mind it. We had a babysitter set up, and before we went to bed, they flipped it to a higher warning.
Oh,
and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? I like driving in it, but it's an hour drive to start with. That hour drive can turn into a 2-hour drive because of bad weather. And I pulled the plug. I even messaged, I think I messaged you and a message a couple of my friends said, I hate doing the safe and responsible thing. Because 10, 15 years ago, I said, screw it, let's go. We drove to Cleveland. Remember when we drove to Cleveland in a blizzard for Brandon to go see a concert? We drove up there. He's seen the show. We had some fancy steak dinner. And then we turned around and drove back when they were shutting down the east side of Cleveland when we were trying to get out of town.
Yeah, that was a nice memory, though.
Yeah. So it's like, I've done it. But I was like, yeah, it's probably the smart thing not to do. So that was a bummer. I had to eat those tickets. I prepaid parking. But Zach and I are going out tomorrow. So it's not that, it's just one of those things. Janessa and I don't get out to do many things together.
Yeah.
So it just kind of sucked doing, with that. And then we had our heat pretty much go out.
While there's an Arctic blast coming down from the North Pole.
Yeah, our kids were out of school today because with the wind chill, it was like -15.
Yeah.
So like all night last night, the furnace burnt and was running all night, like 5 hours straight.
Yeah.
And it was like it was like burning, but it wasn't burning when it was running. And like, anxiety that was going through me, just trying to figure out what's going on. So we eventually had to have, the HVAC guy come out today. We bought a new thermostat and he said, don't put it in yet. I want to see if what I did to the furnace here fixed the issue. Because he said the thermostat we have is a good thermostat. It's expensive thermostat. He's like, that 9 out of 10 times, it's not that. So if it's not that, you can return the other one back and we can, just call it a wash.
Right.
So he came out pretty quickly. Usually when bad weather happens, these these HVAC companies get backed up real quick.
Yeah.
He was out by 11 o'clock this morning.
You're lucky. When did you call him?
8:30, 9:00, left a voicemail,
The
and he
previous
called
night?
us back. No, this morning.
Oh, so wait, you called him and he was out the same morning?
Yep.
Wow, yeah, you are lucky.
Yeah, he's a small business in the area. He comes out, and we're not like new customers to him.
Yeah, yeah.
He does maintenance on our furnace yearly, does our air conditioning unit. So we're repeat customers. That shouldn't really matter. But I think
Right.
in some instances, it may benefit. But
Yeah, well, it probably benefits just like if he's been there before, he knows the layout, he knows
Mhm.
what model furnace you guys have. He's probably able to work quicker because he already has a bunch of information up front
Yeah.
going into it. So, but that's you guys. I assume you have heat. I don't see any icicles forming on the camera there.
yeah, now it's been running fine. So it's like, okay, this if anyone out there is looking to put a new furnace in, do not put a Goodman unit in.
Oh,
Do not put a good. They're never going to sponsor us, but do not put a
sponsored
Goodman
by
unit.
Goodman.
It's been the most finicky furnace I've ever seen in my life. Every year there's a problem. When you kick it on every year. So if we don't get it maintenance, there's an issue, and we just haven't had the time to get them out yet to do the maintenance. And go figure, it went down before we had a chance.
Well, you know what? That stinks, but it's back up and running. You know somebody good fix it, and hopefully it stays running the rest of the season.
Yeah, I was very like, I made sure I told him I appreciate him being able to come out so quickly because it could have gotten really cold in here.
Oh yeah, that would have been.
Then we would have went up with my in-laws, and then I was taking time off work, and
Yeah.
so I'm not dragging my laptop everywhere. So
All right. Well, we're cranking it up to Christmas, baby. We got two more movies, but one more week of Misfit movies leading up to Christmas. And then you and I haven't really discussed what we're doing in 2026. Yeah, I know
I almost like the idea of running this back. Just Misfit movies, just not holiday oriented.
I do too. Just seeing what we can pick out of like some 80s hidden gems or 90s movies that were popular in the 90s.
I think it'd be
but
fun to do a whole
forgotten
Nick
about.
Cage series.
I'm sure if we're doing that era, I'm sure he pops his forehead up again.
Con Air and The Rock.
Yeah, Con Air, Face Off, and The Rock. He was killing.
Oh, he was up there for like he was peak 90s action star.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, that's another one with Angelina Jolie.
The National Treasure movies.
Yeah, he was it. That's funny that we're. Was it Snake Skin or Snake Eyes was another one?
Oh yeah, Snake Eyes. Yeah. This became the Nick Cage channel. Just all Nick Cage movies.
Yeah, we don't enjoy Nick Cage movies at all, do we?
God, The Rock. It's been years since I've seen The Rock.
Paper or plastic? Paper or plastic? It's either that quote or only losers whine about the best.
Yeah.
I'll PG that one for us.
Yeah. We will have fun, I'm sure, going over two Nick Cage movies next week with you all. But until then, what do you say?
Jingle all the way.
We'll see ya.